This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, from Philadelphia, we kick off a 7-game road trip. It's the first of 3 at Citizens Bank Park. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. Jim Hayes is here. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. Marcell Ozuna. Tim, he's in the lineup tonight. He is red hot and the reigning player of the week in the National League.
Third time he's won that award, and June has busted out all over for Marcell. And it's an old saying in baseball that hitting is contagious, and Marcell hopes that's true for the Cardinals.
The week that was 10 for 22. He popped 4 home runs, and he's in the middle of the lineup again for the St. Louis Cardinals this evening. Citizens Bank Park is the scene. It's the St. Louis Cardinals, the Philadelphia Phillies. Cards baseball comes your way next. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
1-2, 1-2. Oh, that sounds good. Gosh.
Right fielder Harrison Bader. Batting 8, number 34, shortstop.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Never been to AC. I didn't know that.
What's that?
Atlantic City?
Nope. One of the only places I've never been.
It's fun.
Oh, I'd love to go.
Fun. Can't linger there, though. You got to get in, get, you know.
Yeah.
A little.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a little bit better.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, hello. That's very good, guys. Thank you. That's not good.
No.
My cough button is not good.
Yeah. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. These two teams split a 4-game series back in May at Busch Stadium, and they enter just a half game back behind the Nationals for the second wild card spot. It's the Cardinals and Phillies tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's Tim McCarver. Jim Hayes is here as well. Always fun to come to Philly, your old stomping grounds.
Always. I was in the Curt Flood trade in 1969, the fall of '69. Curt Flood elected not to go. I couldn't afford it and went to Philadelphia, and then later on, the last 5 years of the '70s, the Carlton thing started. I was fortunate to catch lefty for the most part my last 5 years.
Pretty good run. Very hot, steamy night here in Philly. A look at the Central Division. Milwaukee a half game in front of Chicago after the Cubs took 2 of 3 over the weekend at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals are 5 games above the 500 mark at 37-32. Pittsburgh playing host to Milwaukee tonight. They are 7 back, and then Cincinnati is 16 games out. The Phillies, what a turnaround it has been. It's a 30-game difference from a year ago. This time a year ago, a 30-game difference as they were toiling in the cellar of the National League East, and now all of a sudden they've got a chance to make the playoffs.
Not only that, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's the middle of June and the turnaround late June, 4th week in June, and the turnaround has been abrupt for the Phillies. Gabe Kapler, the 54th manager for the Phillies in their career, and the only thing he managed prior to this, as far as baseball is concerned, Greenville, South Carolina in 2007.
Lowe's whole team together through 69 games, and this is what we're talking about, the turnaround right now with Gabe Kapler at the helm. He is a manager that is based on analytics to a T. That's how he'll make a lot of the pitching changes, the decisions going into lineups. In many ways that's the direction of baseball, but he takes it to the nth degree.
He absolutely does. He's made it work so far.
It's a good Phillies team, as we saw back in mid-May in St. Louis. Meanwhile, Miles Michaelis will go for the Cardinals tonight. All he has done is more than likely turned into an all-star. He has been a find. He's been sensational, and he's been everything the Cardinals could have hoped for.
9 walks and 63 strikeouts.
Wow.
9 walks, 63 Ks. Remarkable.
Take a look at the Cardinals lineup here this evening for game number 1. Matt Carpenter, followed by Tommy Pham, and then Jose Martinez, who left over the weekend the birth of his daughter. Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko had a big hit in the 6th inning last night. Harrison Bader, Jairo Munoz, and the pitcher batting 9th. That's Miles Michaelis. Nick Pivetta, 25-year-old from Victoria, British Columbia, came from the Nationals in 2015 in the Jonathan Papelbon deal, and he's been struggling here lately.
He has, but he is a strikeout pitcher. Last year, he had 140 strikeouts in 133 innings. That's big time. This year, he's a guy who does not work orthodoxly, and if that's a word, I just made that up, I guess. From an orthodox standpoint, I'll put it that way. I recovered, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice and
he gets a lot of right-handed batters out on fastballs inside. In fact, he throws more inside strikes than anybody in baseball.
You pitch inside, you win.
Yeah, well, if you can.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got that tailing fastball. So, I mean, if you're a Cardinal hitter, that's something you pay attention to entering tonight's game.
Here's Matt Carpenter, who was 7 for 15 with 4 doubles against the Phillies. And it was that series back at Busch Stadium when he started to get things going. May 16th, he was hitting 140, and now the average up to 232. And you say, well, 232, well, look where it was.
Yeah, those 3 hits in Minnesota, the last 3 times at bat. The Cardinals won that game, and Carpenter broke out of it.
And there's a strike, and we're underway here in game number 1. 89 degrees here in the northeast of Philly. Very steamy, kind of a wet night, muggy. That's it out of play, and it's 0-2. Phillies had that great run of championship baseball, won a World Series, went to another. For half a decade, they controlled the National League East Division. 2008, they beat Tampa Bay, and boy, they were drawing great crowds for a long time. Consecutive sellout string that was well into the 300s.
Boisterous crowds, as only Philly can do it.
You played here. You love this fan base.
I love the fan base. I love the town. I love the baseball that's played in this town. Since 1883, the Phillies. It's been their sobriquet since 1883. That's the most in professional sports in this country.
There's a nasty breaking ball and a strikeout of Carpenter. The Phillies defensively tonight, Rhys Hoskins in left, Herrera in center, Williams in right field. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Franco, Crawford, Hernandez, Santana across the infield, and Knapp behind the plate.
Sorry, Dan, but this would be the guy that Pivetta, I would think, would pitch inside, and that's Tommy Pham. Maybe not every pitch, but ultimately to get him out.
There's a fastball in that catches the corner.
National League pitchers have been trying to pitch Pham in to be successful.
And Tommy riding an 11-game hitting streak into play tonight. He's hit .289 during those 11 games, scored 11 runs. Leads the Cardinals in runs scored with 51 total. One and two the count. Pham has put up some big numbers against the Phillies. 11 games, .341 average, but the home runs, he's had home runs in key spots of extra inning games against the Philadelphia Phillies. And he hits it in the air to right field. Nick Williams under it and makes the catch for the out.
That gives you an idea of what a great ballpark this is in which to hit. That's just a normal routine fly ball to right field, and Williams was about 10 feet from the track when he caught it.
Ryan Howard, Jim Thome, boy, they made a living out of just flipping the ball into the seats and left.
A lot of opposite field home runs in this ballpark.
Jose Martinez missed the series over the weekend on the paternity list. Added to the roster again today. Luke Voigt sent back down to the minor leagues. A baby daughter, and Jim Hayes will have more on that coming up. He was 8 for 16 against the Phillies with a home run and 5 driven in that series at Busch Stadium.
Trying to come in here. It's the thing, if you're trying to come in right-handed pitcher to a right-handed batter, you better get it inside. Here's your number 3 hitter, and you miss over the plate. Martinez can hit that ball awfully hard.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Jose Martinez.
That's befuddling. The catcher's holding the target up, and he gets a breaking ball. Weird. Andrew Knapp, the catcher tonight. Usually a breaking ball, they're all down, or better be.
Here's a 1-2. Watching Knapp, he's making sure that Martinez isn't peeking back there at the signs.
Yeah, some hitters will do that even before he gets down there. He's looking at him.
He was watching him as he put down the signs, then got the sign he wanted, and then looked back to Martinez to see if he was peeking back to see where he was setting up. And the 1-2 pitch. 2-2. This man has been on a tear, and you think about the 1-2 punch, middle of the lineup, starting to pick it up. Martinez and Ozuna. The 2-2 pitch. And he pops it up on the infield. Cesar Hernandez now backing up and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Pivetta. And Miles Michaelis to the mound when we come back. He's been one of the game's best. Michaelis takes on the Phils when we return. last start. He allowed 3 runs in 6 innings, a 4-2 loss to the Padres. He's 7-2 on the year. If he gets any kind of run support, Tim, he wins.
He has not had a bad outing, really. That loss to the Padres 4-2 last Tuesday night. Getting back on the winning track, but you mentioned an all-star pitcher. He is going to be an all-star pitcher in my view.
I think Michael Wacha also in that conversation.
Yeah, perhaps.
Had a rough start last time out Friday against the Cubs. Here's Cesar Hernandez, the switch hitter, and he looks at a strike.
Nobody on the Cardinals throws strike 1 any more than Miles Michaelis.
Pitching ahead in the count sets up everything else that he does.
Sure does.
And it's 0-2.
It allows you to go to your other pitches too.
And he's not afraid to throw that breaking ball, the rare occasion when he's behind in a count.
Right. 1-0, 2-1.
And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Hernandez a switch hitter. Phillies have won 5 of their last 7 games, and they've scored 36 runs in the last 7. 2-2. Also the pace of Michaelis, you love that as well. Quick worker.
It's like Juan Marichal used to run to the mound when he was with the Giants, and I used to think, if I was a leadoff hitter, why is he running? He wants to pitch to me that badly? That means he's got a lot of confidence.
You bet. Adam Wainwright would do that a lot too.
Sure.
And a 3-2 is a base hit into right field. The Phillies lineup. Hernandez at the top, and then Hoskins and Herrera. Santana, Franco, Williams, Knapp, Pivetta, and Crawford. A lot of lefties in the lineup tonight for the Phils.
One right-hander who's been very hot of late, out, missed most of May. But he's back in there and has been swinging a hot bat. 9 of his 10 home runs have put the Phillies ahead.
Boy, did he burst on the scene. Called up on August 10th of last year, and he had 12 home runs in his first 24 games. A short lead at first by Hernandez with 10 stolen bases this year. He's been caught twice. Hoskins had a broken jaw, and that's why he wears the helmet that you see to protect both sides of his face. Unusual looking helmet, but it serves a purpose.
Had the broken jaw on a ball that he fouled back off his jaw.
Yep.
Most unusual.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. You think about Michaelis, you think about the potential of the double plays. Ground ball percentage 8th best in the league at 51.6%. Hoskins has grounded into 4 double plays this year. And the 2-0. That's what we're talking about before. 2-0 pitch goes with a breaking ball.
Gives you another weapon when you have confidence throwing that breaking ball behind in the count for a strike.
The 2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. A pair of 3-ball counts to the first 2 hitters tonight for Michaelis. I'm not sure we've seen that yet this season.
Remember, only 9 strikeouts all year long. And the 3-1 pitch is a strike. 3-2.
Home plate umpire is Eric Cooper.
You notice Gabe Kapler not sending the runner. I don't think 3-1 counts are running situations, but I do think 3-2 counts are. Michaelis getting the call. Looked like he had the corner. Certainly high enough. But I think Hernandez is running here.
And the Cardinals thinking strike him out, throw him out. He's not running. And the pitch is taken for a ball low. So a single to right, now a walk. And the Cardinals defensively, Ozuna, Pham, and Bader in the outfield. Bader now with 5 outfield assists. Carpenter, Munoz, Jerko, Martinez on the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Well, Herrera has cooled off from the last time that we saw him. He was leading the National League in hitting right around that 350 mark, and it's dipped to 291. And you have that odd stance that we talked about back at Busch Stadium with Herrera. Really takes his time getting inside the batter's box. Showing bunt, pushed it foul.
Somebody's got to explain that to me. I mean, here's one of the hottest hitters on the Phillies. One of the best hitters on the Phillies. Your RBI guy hitting third, and he's squaring around the bunt. What do the metrics say about that? I don't get it.
Matt Kemp, by the way, leads the National League in hitting. Matt Kemp at 338 for the Dodgers. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Herrera. I guess Gabe Kapler saying, well, Herrera's not going well right now. Got off to the great start. Put 2 men in scoring position, but if that's the case, he should be hitting third.
Yeah, but don't hit him third.
Right.
That's right. Hit him 7th. Number 3 place hitter. I mean, that spoils a big inning.
And the 1-1 is drilled out to right field, and this ball is gone. 3-run homer for Herrera.
Our case rests. That's why you don't bunt with first and second, nobody out, with your 3-hitter in the first inning. Somehow he gets in a position to hit the ball hard, even with that stance. So much to do before that, but he is a guy with some kind of hand and eye coordination.
Eighth home run allowed by Michaelis. 3-0 Phillies. Here's Santana, the switch hitter, and he's been on a tear. Very slow start, but still 10 home runs and a RBI total now up to 38. Shift on the right side of the infield and a 1-1 pitch. Well, we're not used to seeing this out of Michaelis. Some struggles here in the first inning. Nine balls, 9 strikes. That's something you don't see from Miles Michaelis.
After being 0-2 on Cesar Hernandez, the leadoff batter.
Yep.
Hernandez got to first on a 3-2 single, and then Hoskins walked, and that set it up for Herrera.
And the 2-2 pitch. Molina gives it a look, and it's out of play. So 2-2 the count on Carlos Santana. 1 run allowed at first innings previous 13 starts this year for Michaelis. The Phillies have been very good at home. As a matter of fact, the best home record in the National League, 22-12, third best in the major leagues. This is the third full count already for Michaelis here in the first inning. And the 3-2 pitch. And that's driven out to right. And this ball is off the top of the wall. Bader barehands it and fires it back into second base.
What a play.
To hold Santana to a single. And I'm sure the Phillies may want to take a closer look at this just to make sure it wasn't over the wall. But to your point, Bader, terrific play.
You mentioned leading all rookies in the National League in assists. He has 5. Rocket for an arm. Good play. Santana with a wide turn, but elected properly to go back to first base. Properly for the Phillies, that is.
3 hits and a walk here in the first inning. Let's take a look at Tim McCarver's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, Miles Michaelis, hopeful were the Cardinals for him to have that good start. Phillies already with 3, nobody out. And more the same from Miles, and he can help him get the bats going.
Franco had started just 1 of the previous 9 games prior to yesterday. He was in the lineup against Milwaukee, went 2 for 3, home run, and drove in 4. Gabe Kapler saying that this will be a position that it will continue to be fluid. Third base for the Phillies. There's a strike. Still nobody out, and this will be the 25th pitch of the inning. And that's hit to third. Across the diamond goes Carpenter. The stretch by Martinez for the first out. Santana advancing to second base.
Ball not hit hard enough for Carpenter to think about going to second base, so he had to go the long way across the diamond.
You know, last night Bader had an outfield assist, as we talked about, his 5th. Well, they have StatCast. It measured it at 90 miles per hour.
His throw.
That was the throw. And he's had ones that are even harder and faster than that. But that was the 8th fastest throw by an outfielder this year. He's got a cannon in right.
Yes, he does.
And right now, with the struggles of Dexter Fowler, he's got to play every day. And he's earned it too.
Yes, he has. Combination of the two. Dexter struggling like he has been, and Bader showing promise. Pretty easy for Mike Matheny.
Little flare to shortstop Jairo Munoz, and the catch is made for out number 2. The switch hitting catcher Andrew Knapp.
That ball up and in, Danny, and you know, with low ball hitters, and Nick Williams is a good low ball hitter, but low ball hitters are easier to jam than high ball hitters, and the reason for that is low ball hitters have slower bats than high ball hitters. Nick Williams, a good example of a guy who likes the ball down, so if you elevate that fastball inside, you'll jam him more often than not, and that's what Michaelis did to Nick Williams, the right fielder.
Doesn't really have a feel right now. You just tell with Michaelis for that breaking ball. Couple have broken off and been good, but then he's missed spots more times than not here in the first inning. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Starting tonight for the Cardinals, 24. The next 33 are on the road. Cardinals actually have played a major league low 30 road games. 16 and 14 away from Busch Stadium. important stretch of baseball here. And it's 1-2.
Late call by home plate umpire Eric Cooper. Andrew Knapp can't argue too much because he's the catcher, and he'll have to go right back out there and with a 3-0 lead try to get pitches for his pitcher.
Tough spot. Catcher
it is.
in the box.
It is.
Here's a 1-2, and it's pulled foul. I mean, you want to say something. You feel as a hitter, I have the right to say something.
And you do.
But you're also working for the guy on the mound when you go back behind the plate.
Right.
Tough spot. And the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, and that one caught Molina. "32 pitches here in the first inning." The pitcher Pivetta is on deck. They're using their pitcher batting 8th. One ball and 2 strikes. Out to shallow center, and this ball drops in for a base hit. No throw by Pham. A run will score to make it a 4-0 Phillies lead here in the top of the first, rather the bottom of the first.
Once again, Michael is getting inside on a left-handed batter. Knapp fights it off, and Tommy Pham can't get to it. Santana scoring easily.
The Phillies with 4 hits here in the first. 3 have come with 2 strikes. I'm sure what bugs Michaelis is the fact that you had a guy hitting 181 in front of the pitcher, and he drives in that run. Ooh, nice play by Martinez coming off the bag. He'll step on the bag for the final out. 8 come to the dish for the Phillies. They put up a 4 spot. Due up for St. Louis, the National League Player of the Week, Marcell Ozuna. Major League Baseball All-Star ballot is now open exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Cardinals are represented on this year's squad. Vote at cardinals.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 89th All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th on Fox. They're your leaders currently.
Big surprise, Nick Markakis in right field. Huh?
Over 2,000 hits and yet has not been to an all-star game, and he's done that quietly too. He's been a really good player for a long time.
Good player.
Marcell Ozuna, National League Player of the Week, hit .455 with 4 home runs, drove in 8. Third time that he's won that award. He did it twice last year with Miami. Evan Gattis won in the American League, and Houston just completed a perfect 10-0 road trip. They've won 11 straight.
10-0 on the road.
On the road.
Get out of here.
That's almost impossible to do in the game of baseball.
It's tough. You look at the Cardinals, they get in at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yes,
after
sir.
that ESPN game last night. Even though the Cardinals won, combination of 5 pitchers shut out the Cubs.
Long throw to first. Wow, what a play there by Franco.
My gosh.
How good is that?
I'll tell you what, prior to that play, I didn't think he was good enough to make a play like that. Did you?
No.
And it's not disparaging toward Mikhail, but I mean, my gosh. Look at that. Had him by 2 steps.
Quickly too with the transition and then the arm strength on the fly with that throw. What do you think? Shades of Mike Schmidt down there.
Well, best third baseman I ever saw.
Better than Brooks Robinson.
Yes.
Wow.
Brooksy had to play shallow. I could list them. Home runs 548. But the point was on AstroTurf, which the vet used to have. There's number 20, rightly retired, a Hall of Famer. But on the artificial surface, a third baseman has to play deep, particularly when you're playing third when a guy like Steve Carlton pitches, because the slider inside to right-handed batters. Mike Schmidt with a great throwing arm. Brooks couldn't have played on artificial surface because he had to play too deep, and his arm didn't allow for the longer throws. Not saying I'm not taking anything away from Brooksy. Great gentleman, great player, but not as good as Schmidt.
2-2. Scott Rowland, great defensive player. Now Nolan Arenado, an incredible player. He might go down as one of the all-time greats.
I don't think there's any question about it.
Yadier Molina making history tonight. Start number 1,757 behind the plate. The most starts by a catcher with one team. Gabby Hartnett with the Cubs held the previous record from 1922 to 1940. He was a 6-time All-Star and a Hall of Famer. Amazing accomplishment tonight for Yadier Molina. History. Most games caught with one team. Pretty impressive.
It's funny, Molina's done it 15 years, and it took Hartnett 19 to do it. That's a telling factor there. Good at bat by Yadi.
And those are regular season games.
Yeah, right.
Think of all the mileage on Yadi's body with all the postseason that he's played in too.
Being on a winner.
That's right.
Of course.
So 1-out walk, and it brings in Jed Jerko. Good numbers against Pivetta. 4 for 5 with a double and a home run. Say it all the time, you fall behind 4-0, and in this ballpark though, no lead safe because, as Tim pointed out, rightfully so, the ball travels so well. And Jerko trying to cut the lead in half with one swing.
We talked about that fastball inside to right-handers. Here's a guy who can handle it with the best of them. That quick bat. Jerko, one of the quickest right-handed bats in the National League.
And the 0-1. Nothing in 2. So good numbers for Jerko against Pivetta. And the 0-2 is hit out of play. Remember, he came back here first time with Scott Rowland. It was Harry Callis Day at the old vet as he was riding around in a convertible and Scott popped out of the dugout his first time back. Harry's getting these great cheers and boy, they turned to boos in a hurry.
I didn't know that. I've never heard that story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a good breaking ball and strikeout number 2 for Pivetta.
Harry probably thinking, can you wait until the cheering stops?
Right. Best home winning percentages in the National League this season. The Phillies 647. The great Harry Callis. Harrison Bader. Bader with a start tonight. If you include it this evening, he's now started 6 of the last 8 games. 29th overall and as a starter hitting .283. But it's his defense, the energy, his legs, the excitement he brings to the lineup that'll keep him in there. Pivetta is 6 for 7 and first pitch strikes. Oh, and 2. Outfield is straight away and the next 2 Harrison Bader fouled back. We've talked to Willie McGee about Bader and he told both of us this is the guy I really like, and it started in the minor leagues the first time I saw him roving the minor leagues. The way that he goes about his business, the extra work that he puts in to be a good player. They want it up in the zone and it's the second time we've seen that. Hold the glove high and then drop down.
And it's very unusual. Perhaps deception's the motive.
Let's check in with our buddy Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan Jose Martinez is back with the Cardinals after missing the Cubs series to head to Venezuela for the birth of his second child. Baby Alana was born Friday morning at about 10:20. Jose told me the feeling of holding my baby was unbelievable. I'm still feeling it. Jose said it wasn't ideal leaving his teammates, who he calls his second family. He told me for about the first 10 minutes, I forgot all about baseball. After that, I knew it was about time to get back to work. Dan, mom, baby Alana, doing very well.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. It's the paternity list that they have added here last couple of years in baseball, where a player can go off the 25-man roster and see the birth of a child and then rejoin the team. Something I'm sure that you did not have the luxury of with your children.
No, I saw my oldest daughter when she was 4 days old. There were no bereavement, or naturally not bereavement, paternity leaves during those days.
J.P. Crawford on a pitch that was up and a double into the right field corner. 5 hits already for the Phils.
This is certainly not a typical outing for Miles Michaelis. Just been brilliant through every start this year, but a rough time tonight.
It happens.
Yeah, sure.
What you ask, though, is to minimize the damage if possible and give you length in the game.
You hope sometimes the offense has to jump start and just outscore the opposition.
It's interesting, the Phillies offensively, and this is back to the top of their lineup in Hernandez, they lead in walk rate and strikeout rate. So walking a bunch, striking out a bunch. And a ground ball hit to the right side, and that'll advance Crawford from second to third.
Notice when you watch Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman, switch hitter, does everything right. Everything to help the team win. As much as anybody in the National League, I think. He is just such an adaptable player at the plate. Tough to strike out. Good base runner. Good fielder. Turns a double play. Not a lot of things he can't do in baseball.
Down 4-0 in the second. Cardinals bring the infield in. You're right, though, Tim. You just appreciate the fact that a player essentially gives himself up to an extent with a ground ball to the right side to advance a runner.
I think consideration should be given to a hitter, and a sacrifice in no time at bat charged to a hitter that moves the runner from second to third. I'm not saying that he does it all the time, but consideration should be taken somewhere.
If you did that, you'll see a whole lot more ground balls to the right side,
which is the way the game should be played. But because of agents and increasing salary structure and things like that, guys still get an offer, but in the process of helping the team, moving the runner over. I think an initiative should be constituted by the owners. But of course, if that happens, more money is given to the player. So will that happen? No.
Good pitch. It doesn't get the call. I like it when you answer your own questions.
Oh, yeah. Well,
will it happen? No. Now we move on. Doesn't get the call. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 infielders on the left side.
All in.
Even early on here, Michael is typically, if he's missing, it's just barely off the plate to get that hitter to reach. You know, roll over on a right-handed batter with a right-handed batter on a ground ball.
Right.
Things of that nature. Now they go back in, and the 2-2 pitch pulled foul. I didn't see the Fanatic anywhere. That's disappointing.
So I'm on the scoreboard earlier. He had other plans.
I don't want to see him on the
early
scoreboard.
for him tonight.
Are we?
Yeah, about the 5th inning. We'll check him out.
Be messing with people.
He's great.
The best. The 2-2. Curveball, watch out. And back in safely at third base was Crawford. Molina trying to catch him napping down at third base.
What will the third base coach say to a runner in this situation? A few words. Make the ball go through. You're not going in on a ground ball. Too good a hitter on deck.
3-2 hit down the left field line, foul.
A lot of the preparation third base coaches make, and pitchers and catchers and what have you, usually are not put into effect. All you're doing is saying if a ground ball is hit to an infielder, make the ball go through. It's not worth the risk with a guy like Herrera, who had a 3-run home run his last time up, on deck.
8th pitch of the at bat coming up. And a fly ball lifted out to shallow center, racing in Pham. He'll make the catch, and the runner stays put. So big out there for Michaelis. Take you back to the first inning after showing bunt. The first 2 base runners in the lineup for the Phillies. He showed bunt, pushed it foul, and then puts one over the fence. 10th home run of the year. That's Dusty Wathan, the third base coach of the Phillies. 10 years in their system as a manager. Been called up by Gabe Kapler.
Father John Wathan, a great athlete, and in 1981 led the American League in stolen bases. As a matter of fact, I think he had 37 that year. He stole more bases in that season than any catcher ever.
What was your top stolen base year? You can run.
Yeah, I could run a little bit. 13, I think.
It's good, obviously. Martinez will take it, steps on the bag, and Michaelis out of this second inning jam. Coming up for the Cardinals, Munoz, Michaelis, and Carpenter. The Fox Sports Go app, log in and stream the Cardinals wherever you go. There's Jairo Munoz. Hit safely in every game over the weekend against Chicago.
3 hits on Saturday.
He's done a nice job filling in.
He's a good-looking player. You saw him in spring training, and you told me in spring training I didn't see him play, but you said he is a good-looking player. I didn't expect him to be that good because you gave Stephen Piscotty to Oakland for Munoz, meaning that 1-for-1. I thought just the Cardinals. Well, it might have been 2-for-1.
Max Schrock as well.
Max Schrock, right? And I figured, well, probably a fair shortstop, a backup shortstop, but Munoz is more than that.
His ability to play the outfield stands out too.
His arm.
Exactly.
My gosh.
Tim, I saw him in spring training play second, short primarily, third base, at all 3 outfield positions. Now that includes obviously center field. If you can play shortstop and center field in the big leagues, you can find a job.
He's got the arm for any position.
And he lines it into the glove of Cesar Hernandez for the first out. It brings in Miles Michaelis. A big, and I mean a big, happy birthday wish to our friend, your former teammate, Hall of Famer Lou Brock. He's 79, and Lou, I'm sure you're watching. Happy birthday.
Hard to believe Lou is 79 years old today. All day.
I know we talk about our Hall of Famers all the time, but what a wonderful man. Join us in wishing a happy 79th birthday to Hall of Famer, 2-time World Series champ Lou Brock, and that's from the Cardinals Twitter feed. 0-2 the count. Anniversary.
Lou's certainly taking a heroic stance now in his battle against cancer.
Michaelis strikes out. He is 1 for 26 on the year. That one hit, a home run in Milwaukee. Last week was the anniversary of his famous trade to St. Louis from the Chicago Cubs in 1964. What a deal it was.
Lou Brock and Jack Spring for Ernie Broglio, Bobby Chance, and Doug Clemens, who lives here in Philadelphia.
Here's Carpenter, struck out on a curveball first time through. Had a home run last night, and that was number 10. The Kubota power stats. So now Carpenter in a group with Martinez, Ozuna, and Pham. All 4 players with 10 home runs. Kubota power stats. It's now the 4th straight year that Carpenter's had at least 10 home runs, 5th total. I'm not sure many people back in 2011, when you first saw Matt Carpenter arrive as a bench player for Tony La Russa's club, would remember that it was Mark McGwire that said, you need to pull the ball. He's really a guy that kind of flared it to left in soft liners. And they said, you're a big guy, you're strong, pull the ball. And he really changed his approach, his style, and did it at the big league level. Broke the all-time Cardinal record for doubles. He had 27 home runs one season.
55 doubles that year.
And a 2-1 pitch hit the other way down the left field line. It is a fair ball, and it's gone.
How about that? That's no punch to left field.
No, sir.
It was a big guy hitting it. Mark McGwire says something, you listen. It makes Matt Carpenter the leader for the Cardinals in home runs with 11.
And to think where he was about a month ago.
Oh, man.
That's just a line drive home run slicing towards the pole in left, and it barely stayed fair.
Almost all of Matt Carpenter's home runs are pulled into the position into right field. That one a rarity going to left.
And a strike to Tommy Pham. That's the first home run by Carpenter to the opposite field. To further your point, 2 to center, 8 to right, now 1 to left. Report tonight that the Nationals are ready to acquire Kelvin Herrera from the Royals to bolster their bullpen. We had Ken Rosenthal on the other day, one of the top baseball writers in the country, and
he certainly is that.
He's always digging up stories, and he felt that this trade deadline, from what he heard, will be a crazy one. You're going to see a ton of movement. A strikeout of Pham, and he is 0 for 2. But the home run for Carpenter gets the Cardinals on the board. His 11th of the year. RBI number 25, and it's a 4-1 score. Fox and FS1. It all kicks off with Colombia and Japan at 6 a.m. FS1. Then Poland battles Senegal at 9 a.m. on Fox, followed by Russia taking on Egypt at noon. FIFA World Cup Tuesday on Fox and FS1, and stream it all live on the Fox Sports Go app.
Worth tuning in just for a score.
Are you a big soccer fan?
Not really, but I love to hear that guy.
I do too.
Oh, it's fabulous. One of the great calls in sports.
He starts going crazy with all that. There's a fly ball to Pham, and Santana is the first out. Here in the home half of the third. Let's see if Michaelis can't settle in after the home run by Carpenter. You never know, but what could have been and what might be a key play in this game and at bat was Hoskins with a runner at third, only one out, and Michaelis on the ropes, and he got the fly ball into shallow center. Run couldn't score, then got a ground out and kept it at that point 4-0. You never know, little things like that can add up.
Right, and during that, you may remember the infield was in, so it makes it very difficult for a shortstop to go out into that never land out there, and Tommy Pham's playing him deep, so he had a long way to run to make the play.
There's Franco, who grounded out to third. No balls and 2 strikes. Nick Williams at the on-deck circle. And the 0-2 pitch. Little chopper left side, gloved by Carpenter, and he makes the play. So that's twice that Franco is grounded out to third. Arquilla drive to success. Miles Michaelis, his first 10 starts, 6-0. Last 3, 1-2. But look at the run support. Only 4 runs in support his last 3 starts.
Yeah, we mentioned that game against San Diego last Tuesday when the Cardinals lost 4-2. Offense not getting any runs from Miles.
Here's Nick Williams. Well, you've had a front row seat. I'm sure you've seen it a million times being behind the plate where a pitcher, it might take an inning or 2 to get a feel. But once they do, they get locked in.
That is certainly a point, Dan, and you hope that you're not too far behind when that happens.
His last 2 curveballs have been really good.
Yeah, I mean, this inning has been a crisp inning thus far for him.
0-2 the count on Williams. And a fly ball that's lifted to Ozuna. An 8-pitch inning for Miles Michaelis. Martinez, Ozuna, Molina coming up. And it's 4-1. And 16 and older will take home a Tsunami Mystery Hair bobblehead courtesy of AT&T. Don't forget about the life-size version of the Tsunami bobblehead in Ford Plaza. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Carlos Martinez to Jose Martinez. He popped out to second his first time up. It's a 4-1 game. And the first pitch to Jose is a strike. Not to give away your travel secrets and your itinerary, but you were out of the country last couple of weeks, and I bring that up.
No tsunamis, though.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Whew.
And I do bring it up because we had the passing of Red Schoendienst, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your great friend and former manager.
Sorry I couldn't go to his services, and just a wonderful man through and through, from top to bottom, from the beginning of his life until the end of his, I guess you could say, 95 years later. Sweet man, tough man. Number 2 was number 1.
One-two pitch in the dirt. 2-2. The outpouring of love for Red and his family and all the messages that have come from literally across the world to the Cardinals has been remarkable. He touched so many lives. The 2-2 pitch. Martinez back to Pivetta. Look what I found for the first out. .98 miles per hour off the bat.
Gives you an idea of how little time pitchers have to react on balls hit back through the box.
Scary.
Red Schoendienst told me a story once about Eddie Matthews, a great third baseman. Red was starting at second base in 1957 for Milwaukee, and there were 2 outs with a man on second, and Red said, "Eddie, 2 away." And Matthews was in a foul mood, and he said, "I know how many outs there are. Don't be telling me how many outs there are. All right?" Red gets in the dugout. About 2 innings later, Eddie Matthews was on at first base. There was 1 out. Fly ball was hit to center field, and Eddie rounded second. He'd forgotten how many outs there were. And he went up to Red and he said, "Red, you could tell me how many outs there are anytime you want to." Now here's a Hall of Famer, the great Eddie Matthews, talking like that, and that changed his mind about the redhead.
Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Yadier Molina against the Phillies in his career. This being game number 75 for Yadi against the Phils. Above a .300 average, 7 home runs, and he's driven in 36. That's 6 strikeouts now for Pivetta. And a fastball taken high at 96 by Molina, who walked his first time up.
He's got a live arm, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. We talk about guys that when they throw the ball really jumps. This is one of them.
Yes.
That was the first strikeout of the 6 that were looking. So you got Ozuna with the breaking ball. Tim mentioned that Pivetta in his rookie season, 140 strikeouts and 26 starts. And in terms of Phillies history, how long it has been, that's in the top 5 in terms of fewest starts with all those strikeouts.
Yeah.
Cole Hamels was in there, Pivetta, a couple of others. That is one big old mop of hair on Miles Michaelis. Two and 2.
Yeah, he thought that ball was inside. Looked like it had a corner. Yeah, I think it was a strike.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. And Molina serves it into right. Williams, though, is there for the catch. After the home run, that's 6 in a row. When can we expect Paul to be potentially in that Cardinals lineup?
Well, he was hitting off a tee for the first time today, but the Cardinals have a wait-and-see approach. He still has to get it checked out before he can actually start hitting against pitching. Dan Topps has issued a brand-new Paul DeJong Future Stars card. On the back, it details Paul's off-season scientific study on the effect of heat on a baseball. Paul did the study with world-renowned scientist Dr. Lawrence Rocks. We had them both on the pregame show today. Dr. Rock says he teamed up with Paul to reach kids who love baseball with a message that science can be applied to anything. Paul was a biochem major in college with a genuine curiosity about science. In regard to this particular experiment, Paul told me, we reached some interesting conclusions and I got to wear a lab coat. Dan?
Well, that's the most important aspect of it, I guess.
What a fascinating story.
Well, I have the conclusion to the study. I don't know if I lost you guys or you were interested to know the impact of heat on a baseball. Are you curious?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so balls travel farther when heat is applied to a baseball. Okay, I guess most people will get that, but it's up to a point. At 80 degrees, the core of the baseball gets soft and the distance declines. So heat makes the ball jump off the bat up to a point.
Huh.
Look, that's guys with lab coats that reach that conclusion.
I love that. It's fascinating. It is. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, Dan's making the faces.
No, I'm not.
I'm sure he is.
No. I think it's fascinating.
You've received that look before, Jim.
Yeah, usually in person.
Jimmy was entertaining us on the ride over with his stories of post-game interviews with Tony La Russa. Now that was interesting.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Look, Tony would sometimes get after me for effect to control the media mob. But I've told this before. It wasn't personal, and then you'd see him literally 2-3 minutes later, and it's like nothing ever happened. But the one time there was that brawl against the Reds in Cincinnati, Tony threatened to throw me out of his office.
I did enjoy the story, though, and I enjoyed the report.
I did,
I want to
too.
be on the record with that.
Well, let's get a little science in your diet, okay? Dan was trying to smarten you up a little bit.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. Let's cut his mic. Cut it. Done. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball taken high by Andrew Knapp, who had a base hit to center. That scored a run to make it a 4-0 lead at the time back in the first.
That was one of those annoying hits where you feel like, you got a team to scoring no runs. They end up getting a squeaker on an inside flare into center field.
That's the first strikeout for Miles Michaelis. That was the 5th full count he's had, and that was a 9-pitch at bat. He hasn't been as sharp tonight, but Cardinals clearly still in the game. It's only 4-1.
Talk about pitch count and all that sort of stuff, and I'm not a believer in that, but there is obviously some truth to the fact that if a guy has an elevated pitch count, then that means he has not done well more than anything else.
Well,
doesn't mean he can't continue or anything like that, which that statistic from a metric standpoint implies.
Well, especially if you're in the 4th or 5th inning and you look up and it's 80-90 pitches, you know it's probably been a tough night.
Exactly. And that's the case for Miles right now.
And a called third strike on Pivetta. Take a look at the pitches by inning. So much of the workload done in that first inning. First time through the lineup, they went 5 for 8 with a walk, and now here the second time through, hitless. So he settled in.
Yeah.
Back-to-back strikeouts, and the 9th place hitter J.P. Crawford doubled down into the right field corner, then left stranded back in inning number 2.
That's the only hit since 2 outs in the first inning with 1 on. So to prove your point,
Cubs a half game back of Milwaukee. Tyler Chatwood and Kenta Maeda tonight. That's at Wrigley. Milwaukee at Pittsburgh. Jhoulys Chacin against Trevor Williams in Pittsburgh. We'll keep an eye on that game. The Nationals and Yankees playing a doubleheader, and Washington a winner in game 1 5-3, and that pitch taken low. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 2. Cardinals, their analytics department looked at Miles Michaelis, got together with the eye test of the scouts and figured that this could be a good situation in St. Louis, and it has been. And he strikes out the side here in the bottom of the 4th. And coming up for St. Louis, Jerko, Bader, and Munoz. It's 4-1. Yeah, I think any way you want to look at it, he is a future star, no doubt, Scotty. There's a strike to Jed Jerko underway here in the top of the 5th, and it's 4-1 Phillies. Jerko struck out back in the 2nd. Pivetta has struck out 6 tonight. And a curveball makes it 0-2.
The combination of that fastball inside and that breaking ball away has been deadly for Pivetta tonight. Only 2 Cardinal base runners, a walk to Molina in the 2nd and a home run by Matt Carpenter.
Wanted that pitch up. It's been interesting, and you pointed it out early in the game where Andrew Knapp has had the glove up near the letters of a hitter
with 2 strikes.
Yeah, and then gone with a breaking ball that goes away from a righty.
Yeah.
And a good late break on that curveball, and that strikeout number 7.
Best description of a good curveball is one that's really tight, and that was a tight curveball. It started at the knees, ended up in the dirt.
It was this date, 1977. And you say, well, what's the big deal about this date in baseball history? As you get a look at Harrison Bader, it wasn't a monumental home run. It wasn't a monumental play or win, but it was great TV, great theater. Reggie Jackson, Billy Martin nearly fight at Fenway Park. Paul Blair to the outfield for Jackson's quote-unquote lack of hustle. And you see it replayed time and again. It happened in this state, 1977.
He let Reggie Jackson go out to his position, and then he sent Blair out there
to show him up.
To show him up, exactly. He almost had a fight in the dugout.
How well did you know Billy?
I knew him too well. Billy and I did not get along. That's okay. You're apologizing with your eyes. That's all right.
Well,
I don't mind that.
I've heard some of the stories, which I love, and we will not repeat them.
I did not like him. I thought he was tasteless in a lot of things. I thought he showed. I didn't like his managerial style, because he thought pitchers used to, in tight situations, have to throw curveballs because he couldn't hit one. If he couldn't hit one, throw curveballs to this batter and he's an automatic out. It's simply not the truth. It was to Harrison Bader there, but generally speaking, it's not.
It's 8 strikeouts for Pivetta. Cardinals have had 15 swings and misses against the Phillies right-hander tonight. 8 strikeouts, 7 have been swings. 1 was looking. That is some fascinating video, though, to go back in 1977 and see that. And Jackson kind of, what, me?
Yeah.
And then he comes off, and then those two get into it in the dugout in Fenway.
Oh, yeah. Fenway of all places.
Yes. That rivalry, stakes are high. A strike to Munoz, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. He lined out to second.
How about the curveball Nick Pivetta has thrown in this inning?
Nasty.
My gosh. Koufaxian.
Cardinals with 1 hit tonight. That's the home run by Matt Carpenter back in the 3rd. That has been it. Another curveball, that late tight break. Mike Myers is up in the Cardinals bullpen. Miles Michaelis at the on-deck circle. The 2-2 pitch. Again, and he strikes out the side with the curveball. That's 9 in 5 innings. going for the St. Louis Cardinals are Budweiser What's on Tap. 5:30 with the pregame show. Weaver and Vince Velasquez. The second start of the year for Luke Weaver against the Phils, and his second start ever at this ballpark.
I'll tell you what about that Chicago Cub game last night with Jack Flaherty coming inside to Baez. They're brilliant second baseman in many ways. I'll tell you, more Cardinal pitchers are learning to come inside, and I think that is to be credited to Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. And I mean, to me, I've always been I talked to Mike briefly about it before the game. You pitch inside and throw strikes inside. That's going to make that outside pitch much, much better. One of the big reasons that Michaelis has had such a good start this year.
No doubt. And it started in day one of spring training, his first start, and this is the top of the lineup. Hernandez. We saw Miles pitch in a lot, and Hernandez skies one into right center field. Tommy Pham back. He's at the wall and makes the catch.
Originally, I thought that was a routine fly ball, and it kept carrying and carrying and carrying. Tommy Pham, I think, acted like that, not knowing how far. He knew he was in the middle of the warning track. That's why when that grass stops, then an outfielder, not knowing really where he is, but he can feel it with his feet. I know that sounds simplistic, but a lot of people may not know that. That's one of the big reasons they have that warning track there. You have about 3 strides going before you, depending on, you know, the length of your legs, of course, before you hit the fence.
Here's Rhys Hoskins, and then you figure in the temperature
and the heat.
That's right.
I hear you, brother.
I paid attention to Jim's report.
I did too.
And it was a good one.
It was.
That will not carry out of the ballpark. This is Bader under it for out number 2.
Where was that pitch? Inside to Hoskins.
Well, it's been a struggle a little bit here for Michaelis. He had 35 pitches in the first inning. He is due up first for the Cardinals, looking ahead to the 6th. If he has a quick third out here, then you make your decision if you're Mike Matheny on what to do. But I think he's got a hit.
I don't agree with that. I think he's out. 3 runs, you need offense. I mean, the Cardinals have had 2 base runners. I think you pitch hit for him.
On the flip side, bullpen has been beat up. And that's something to think about too. But I agree with you. Normally, I'd say absolutely. But if your bullpen is a little beat up, some guys are off tonight, you might put that into the equation. We'll see how it plays out.
All right.
He had retired 11 in a row.
Little hesitation pitch.
You can see that, especially with Herrera.
But Herrera didn't.
No. But Herrera has a big leg kick. You can see him.
Oh, yeah. Very unusual.
Yeah. Here's Santana, who is 1 for 2. Held to a single on a ball that he hit off the wall in right. And there's a curveball for his strike.
For a guy like Herrera, he's a very difficult pupil if you're a batting coach. Because
who hits like that?
Who hits like that?
Yeah. Maybe Jose Oquendo. He had that wide open stance. Remember how Jose used to hit?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
He golfs like that too.
Oh, he does?
And he's sensational. He's about a scratch golfer.
Oh, he really?
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
With soft hands.
I didn't know that. Talking about a cannon for an arm. I saw him play in 1984 when he was a rookie with the Mets at 19 years old. First time in New York City playing for the Mets.
Bright-eyed, young.
Oh, he's great. Still is.
What a teacher. And the 0-1. Now 0-2. Michael has struck out the side back in the fourth. Part of that stretch of 11 in a row. Take away that first inning, and it's been typical Miles Michaelis. He had 2 awful starts in spring training, his first 2. You're thinking, first of all, who's Miles Michaelis? Secondly, this may be a bad investment. He's been worth every penny.
Yeah, he changed that in a hurry.
Sure did.
31 wins in a little under 3 years with the Tokyo Giants, owned by the Yomiuri newspaper. I think still, I believe that's right.
And the 0-2 taken low. One ball and 2 strikes on Santana, the former Cleveland Indian slugger, signed in the offseason with the Phils. Herrera does have 3 stolen bases this year. That pine tar in the bat of Santana getting very close to the barrel, and nearly, and it might be, but it's close to being illegal.
Well, that used to be the case. Is it still the case? I'm not sure.
You look at his shoulder and all the pine tar that is gathered there in the back left.
That's a swing and a miss pine tar print.
That's catching flies currently. There's a ground ball hit softly to Martinez, a flip to Miles Michaelis, and the inning is through. 4-1 our score. And 16 and older get a fashion boost when they take home a one-of-a-kind Cardinals all over print shirt. That's courtesy of Shane Company, and get your tickets to the June 29th game against the Braves at cardinals.com/promotion. So Dexter Fowler will pinch hit for Michaelis, and Mike Myers, it looks like, will be the next man up in that Cardinals bullpen. So Michaelis tonight gets through 5 innings, 4 runs on 6 hits, all 4 runs scored in the first, struck out 3. That was in the fourth. He threw 88 pitches tonight. Here's Dexter Fowler. Only the 3rd time in 14 starts that Michaelis does not go through 6 innings. And Fowler hits it softly up the middle, and they throw it away. Looked like it may have just slipped out of the hands.
I was thinking the same thing, Dan. I think what happens, sometimes that ring finger becomes involved on a throw, and that is bad news for the defense. Clearly, a throwing error on the shortstop, J.P. Crawford, playing on the right side of second base. So the Cardinals with a break, hoping to capitalize. First inning in which the leadoff hitter has gotten on tonight.
And the air, the 8th on Crawford, and now it's Matt Carpenter. A solo home run back in the 3rd inning. Carpenter with that home run last night, now 371 extra base hits. That ties him with Terry Moore for 24th place in Cardinals history.
Wow. Didn't realize that.
Terry Moore, part of the World Championship clubs in the 40s. You think about some of the great names that were part of that generation and that decade of baseball, which truly is one of the great decades, I think, along with the 60s and the 80s. But it's guys like Dizzy Dean and Stan the Man, and
kind of all started with the Gas House Gang back in the early 30s, continued through the 40s.
Johnny Mize, Enos Slaughter, and Terry Moore, the captain. He was the captain. And a pitch a little bit low and outside. Back in the 3rd inning. This is our Nissan drive of the game, an opposite field home run for Matt Carpenter. I wish there were more captains in baseball. Jason Varitek comes to mind. He's the captain of the Red Sox. Jeter, captain of the Yankees. The face of a franchise.
Sometimes.
I like it. Times are rough. He's the one that's front and center with media. A guy that helps out younger players, sets the tone in the clubhouse.
And less to do for a captain in baseball than there is in football. I mean, there are no coin tosses.
Too. Hockey.
Hockey. Never thought about captaincy in hockey.
Oh, it's big. Means something to wear that C. Oh, yeah.
It does.
A couple of assistants, they'll wear the A's, and then you got the captain. He truly is the.
I didn't know that.
The brand and the face of the franchise. Yeah. Alex Petrangelo is the captain of the Blues currently. There have been some great ones. Here's a 1-2 pitch now to Carpenter. One swing of the bat. The Cardinals are within 1. Fooled by that pitch. Strikeout number 10.
Another
Pivetta.
Wicked curveball by Pivetta. He's got a chance with that stuff that he has featured tonight, being a very, very good pitcher, only 25 years old. He doesn't get injured. There's a lot in that right arm of his in the future.
Terry Moore, fans may know this on the other side of the river, but lived in Collinsville, Illinois for a long, long time. Very active in Illinois, Collinsville, Illinois. Second time that Pivetta has reached double figures in strikeouts. 4th time in his career. 2nd time this year.
You mentioned the other side of the river. I have a nice long talk with the ex-Philadelphia Phillies pitching coach, Ray Ripplemeyer, lives in Valmara. Old buddy, talk to him 3 times a year.
That's line foul. I know you also talked to Charlie Manuel, who really got this going again for the Phillies.
Talked to him tonight about a half hour before the game. He was a rock star in this town. I mean, from 2007 to 2011, Phillies won the division 5 straight years, and Charlie was at the helm.
And there's another swing and a miss. Strikeout number 11. And you thought about it, you know, Charlie's kind of a old country.
Smart as a
He is smart, but you know what I mean. I mean, there's a tough media market.
Yeah.
The fans can be brutal. And Charlie is just different. You know, you just didn't think it would be a fit. They loved him.
We even talked about the time he challenged a local television. Actually, he was a radio reporter, and he challenged him to a fight. He said, "We'll settle this like two men."
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Hit sharply to short and a diving stop by Crawford. The second defensive play that's been a plus for the Phillies tonight. One by Franco, that one by Crawford, and Rocky. Yeah, he's still there.
You serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Mike Myers will take over for Miles Michaelis. 4-1 our score. The Cardinals with just one hit. This is our Chevy call to the pen. 18th appearance for Myers, who's been called back to the big leagues 6 different times this year.
Man, it's remember a telecast we did about a month ago, Dan, when you were talking about the article someone did in the Post-Dispatch about the ups and downs of how difficult it is to go from Memphis to, obviously the guys want to be in the big leagues. That's their quest. But when they have to travel like that, you know, you're going on limited rest.
Yes. There's
all
Mike
the time.
Franco, and puts it in play to third. It was Derek Gould, and it was a really good piece.
It was Derek, right.
And Derek does a great job for the Post-Dispatch. But one of the things that he talked about was the discrepancy in money. You know, when you're paid like a big leaguer, even if it is the minimum, it's a lot of money.
You bet.
And you go down to the minor leagues, and it's a totally different story. So, you know, you may have a couple of weeks in the big leagues. You get paid for those 2 weeks. You go back down to the minor leagues. You get paid like a minor league player.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. But just the simple things of, you know, shipping a car.
Sure.
Where are you going to live?
Sure.
Those types of things that maybe you just don't really realize by going up and down so much, the average fan.
If you do change residences, you would like for it to be for a long time.
Yes.
If it's going up the ladder. If it's going down the ladder, you'd like to be in a hotel instead of an apartment or a house.
It'd be nice if they said, hey, Mike, put a down payment on a house in St. Louis.
Yeah, right. Right.
That's the idea. And Williams a soft grounder. Tough play. Jerko could not come up with it.
I think that's going to be a base hit. I think it should be a base hit because of the time it took Jerko to get to the ball in between hop, and it's going to be an error. That's a tough error.
Now I'll also say this from the perspective of just being an outsider and watching it. If you're a player, you know what you signed up for. So if you don't like it, go do something else.
That's true.
Getting to the big leagues, the best of the world, and being treated how they're treated, pretty special.
There's a difference.
Oh yeah, no question. But it's the dream, and as you know, it's what you sign up for.
That's right. And that dream has turned into nightmares for many, many players.
There on Jerko, his 5th of the season. You know, the Cardinals, I think some look at it and they say, well, it's a 10-day DL and they're going up and down with guys. Well, it's out of necessity.
Sure.
There's a lot of guys hurt.
Of course.
Our BJC Healthcare difference maker, the bullpen last night against the Cubs. 4 innings, a couple of hits. That was it. They did a nice job in relief of Jack Flaherty, who twice pitched out of bases loaded jams. Andrew Knapp at the plate. RBI single to center back in the first and also struck out. I think if you went to Mike Myers and said, well, here's your choice. You can stay in Memphis all year, or we can go up and down with you and have a chance to come back to St. Louis.
I'll take the latter.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No questions asked. Where's my ticket? Thank you very much. So no one's feeling sorry for these guys.
No.
Nor should they.
Nope.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Andrew Knapp.
It's a ruthless racket at times. Tough.
Cardinals have been hit in a big way with the injury bug, in particular to their bullpen. And I thought going into the season that would be their #1 strength. When you had.
You have said that.
Yeah.
Many, many times early.
And there's a good fastball at 99 from Mike Myers. His first strikeout of the night. Our Chevy Foxtrax.
This thing had some gas trailing. There's that heat in the baseball again.
I think the Cardinals would like to see Myers grab a roll out of the bullpen and run with it. Be the guy that we saw in spring training that was consistently, 97, 98.
Harumph.
Let it eat. Don't worry about being too fine. Don't look over your shoulder. If they didn't believe in you, you wouldn't be here. There's a lot of other guys in uniform down in the minor leagues. Only a select few bring it here.
Confidence is a big word.
That one caught our home plate umpire 98 on the gun.
Looks like it may have caught Eric Cooper on the right wrist, but it was deflected by Molina, I think.
May have got him on the shoulder.
Yeah, you're right. Check that.
Yeah. There is gear there, but it still hurts.
Padding. Still hurts.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. And Pivetta swing and a miss. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Myers in a scoreless inning. Coming up for the Cardinals, Marcell Ozuna. Yadier Molina, and Jed Jerko. Sensational here tonight with 11 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed.
If you're a fan of the art of pitching, you'll love the curveball that Pavetta has featured this evening. Of his 11 strikeouts, 8 have been on curveballs. I mean, that's some big league stuff he's firing at the Cardinals tonight.
It ties his career high with 11. 5th player to make it to the big leagues from Victoria, BC, which is on the southern tip of Vancouver Island off the Pacific coast. Beautiful part of North America.
Gorgeous. About 2 hours north of Seattle by car.
This is our Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And Pavetta, being from Canada, grew up a huge Blue Jays fan, and that means being a pitcher, he loved Roy Halladay. That was his favorite pitcher growing up. Halladay will be inducted into the Hall of Fame on the wall here at the ballpark, which is essentially the Hall of Fame for the Phillies.
Right.
With Pat Gillick, that'll be in August. Gillick was the GM of the 2008 World Championship Club. Such a sad story with Roy Halladay this last off season. What a pitcher.
Much too young.
And the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. That's 12 strikeouts, a new career high for Pavetta. Plaza Tire Service, Fox Tracks.
And another curveball to get Ozuna.
One hit tonight for the Cardinals, a solo home run by Matt Carpenter, and that has been it. And Molina jumps on that breaking ball that was up, but pulls it foul. His last start, Pavetta, 6 runs in 5 innings against the Rockies. His last 4 starts, ERA above 7. You wouldn't know it watching tonight.
Go figure.
0-2 on Yadier Molina. Walked and also flied out to right. The first 11, then the last 3. No activity for the Phillies in their pen. And Molina hits a high fly ball into deep right center field, and it's gone. Opposite field home run, Yadier Molina, number 7 of the year. And it cuts a lead to 4-2. And it comes on an 0-2 pitch.
0-2 fastball of all things, and with the success of the curveball, it's easy to say, well, why throw him a fastball here? Well, because that's the pitch you elected to throw him. No second guessing. Sometimes you tip your cap to the hitter. Molina, tremendous power the other way.
And a strike to Jed Jerko. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts tonight. He's reached base safely in 10 straight. The Cardinals, by the way, are closing in on history. 4 wins away from number 10,000 in regular season play. Joined the National League in 1892. The Giants, the Dodgers, the Yankees all with 10,000 plus wins, and the Cardinals 4 away from that. Is that strikeout number 13.
There's that curveball, getting back to that to get Jerko. How many losses for the Cardinals? Or
I knew you were going to ask me that.
It's okay. We can put it on hold. We're back tomorrow night, you know.
I'll dig it up by then.
All right, good enough.
Regular season losses for the Cardinals. Total. There's a ground ball that's hit to short, gloved by Crawford, and just got him.
If you get Harrison Bader, you just get him, regardless of how hard he hit it. The routine ground ball to the shortstop. Mike Matheny thinking about challenging it, but he didn't.
A home run by Yadier Molina. Missouri, the Gateway Honda home run inning. Here's Crawford, the second inning of work for Mike Myers. 4-2 our score. The Cardinals with 2 hits tonight. Both have been solo home runs. One by Carpenter and moments ago by Yadier Molina. We talked about the injuries of the bullpen of the St. Louis Cardinals. One of the big names that they added right before the first pitch of the regular season, Greg Holland. Jim Hayes, he's with us here in Philly, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back with the Cardinals, has not been activated yet. Michael Gerst told me that since Holland pitched back-to-back games Friday and Saturday with Springfield, they're giving him some recovery time. Holland's rehab numbers not very good. 5 appearances, 7.20 ERA. Gerst told me the numbers weren't what we would have hoped for, but Greg felt he made progress in terms of getting a feel for his slider. Gersh expects Holland to be activated over the next day or two. Dan, he said he'd prefer to find spots where Holland can be eased back into it.
And we'll see if that comes this series against the Phillies. 3-2 the count. Fastball, good one again by Myers.
Now, the one thing about it, he is certainly needed, and that's an understatement.
And a strikeout. So Mike Myers has come in and struck out 3
in a row after that error by Jed Jerko. That fastball clearly a strike to Crawford.
So he comes back to get him, and we're back to the top of the lineup. Cesar Hernandez, who's 1 for 3. And a strike at 98. Boy, Myers is throwing hard tonight.
He really is. It continues to amaze me, Dan, how major league hitters continue to take the same swings 0-2 as they would 2 balls and no strikes. I've never been a believer of a guy who chokes up on a bat with 2 strikes. To me, you choke up in your mind. You choke up in your thinking. You're looking to go the other way.
100 from Mike Myers.
You're not leaving your feet. You get the idea.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. The check swing. You're wondering about the losses since 1892. 9,518. 9,996 wins.
A little over 500 in the plus column. Over 500.
And that's in the dirt. Myers came in, got a ground ball from Franco. It's an air by Jerko off the bat of Williams, then struck out Knapp, Pivetta, Crawford. And he's gone to 3-2 here on Cesar Hernandez. And Molina wants to talk here. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app, and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets until the first pitch, or sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today. StubHub, official partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Danny, when's the last time you heard about trips to the mound? That's gone by the wayside, hasn't it?
For the most part, it really has.
Yeah. Still in effect as a rule, but it's nobody talks about it anymore.
Teams, I don't think we're seeing them as more either. I think teams have been conscious about it.
Yeah.
And the 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. So the 1-out walk, and it brings in Hoskins. There's Rhys Hoskins. Wears number 17. Now, Pat Neshek wore it last season. He was traded on the 26th of July. Hoskins called up, took the number. So Neshek re-signed this offseason. He's now on the DL, if you're wondering. And he wears number 93.
It's a bad deal, I think. He's got to be saying to Rhys, what are you doing with my number on? When are you going to give it back?
You know, Neshek's one of those guys too. When he was in St. Louis, he really wanted a particular number.
Yes, I heard.
Would trade for that and do various things to get that number. Scott Rowland, he wore number 17 for the Phils. Came up at 97. He was the Rookie of the Year. Then traded in 2002. And no Philly wore that number again until Reed Brignac. He wore it in 2014, and now it's worn by Hoskins. So there you go. Pat Neshek is an avid baseball card collector and autograph collector. Yeah,
oh, is that right?
Big time. He's got the Cardinals to save his career in many ways. One of the last guys to make the team a few years ago and became an all-star. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Now time called and granted.
I mean, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, that's too late. A lot of injuries have occurred like that over the years. Pitcher starting and then stopping too abruptly. I think the rules committee's got to look at something like that. Something with substance instead of that meetings on the mound, all that garbage.
A little bit low and inside. Two and one to count. Pat Neshek had the number that John Lackey wanted, if memory serves correct, and he got him a something autographed, I believe, by Babe Ruth. It was a Babe Ruth autographed baseball to get the number. And I'm sure that was fairly expensive. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Pulled foul, and he broke his bat. Lackey wanted number 41, and Neshek had it. That was one of the better deals the Cardinals have made in recent history. Alan Craig, Joe Kelly going to Boston for Lackey, who then pitched for the minimum the following year and then helped the initial postseason run. Alan Craig is now in the minor leagues with the Padres. Joe Kelly still going for the Red Sox
and pitching well.
Yep. John Lackey out of the game. Crowd tonight of 22,083, 22083 here at Citizens Bank Park. Three-two pitch. Popped up.
After all those fastballs, Mike Myers came in with a slider. It was not a good pitch. Probably go back to the fastball here.
And that's driven out to deep left field. Will it stay fair? It is a foul ball. Just foul. The third base coach of the Phillies is saying, hey, put on the headset. We want to challenge this. This will not be a challenge if the umpires come together. This could be an umpire review, which they'll do many times with questionable calls on home runs.
You know, third base umpire Stu Sherwater Usually if it's a foul ball, they throw up both hands. He went.
It's a foul ball.
Foul ball.
And I mean, it might be
Brilliant.
half inch.
It's a brilliant call. Bulletproof eyes to call that, unless it just skimmed the pole.
And fans have heard me mention this before, but they can essentially in New York, where they're watching the replays, once the ball is right by the pole, if they think it might have skimmed the pole, they can blow that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So they'll have the best look at it, obviously. So this will be an umpire review, not a challenge to Gabe Kapler. That's a great call. You're right.
Think about the eyesight for this. Just missing by a whisker.
And you see the bounce right behind the pole, which would easily make you think, well, hit the pole and it's a home run. Man. If
it budges toward foul territory just a wee bit, that means it skimmed the pole. A great eyesight and a good call by Sherwater.
And Hoskins with 3 home runs in his last 4 games. And he yanks that one foul. Cardinals have tried to bust him in. He's had those quick hands to pull the ball at least foul. But you can just tell that he's got quick hands.
He's a lot better hitter than he was when the Cardinals saw him in St. Louis.
Again, a 3-2 pitch, the 9th pitch of the at bat. Pulled foul. Good battle here with Myers and Hoskins. Phillies have drawn 9 full counts in this ball game tonight. It's 5 straight pitches that he has fouled off. The 3-2 again. Driven out to left. Ozuna over, and he's got it. Ozuna with the catch. Hernandez back to the bag at first.
Everybody usually will congratulate a hitter saying great battle, all that. Well, sometimes the pitcher is the one who has battled. The duo battle won by Myers.
Mike Maddox out to visit. I'm sure this is about just maybe letting him catch his breath after a really hard at bat there with Hoskins.
Good point. The mound visit that has meaning.
Brett Cecil, the lefty. Sam Tuivailala, the right-hander. Looking ahead to the 8th inning, the Cardinals let Munoz pitcher spot in the top of the lineup. Here's Herrera, 3-run homer back in the first. Grounded out to first and also a base hit to right. I'm sure part of the conversation too to go over a scouting report on Herrera, who can really swing the bat.
I think what you first said was the real reason, just to give him a blow. That was a tough confrontation, great confrontation between Hoskins and Myers. I think Herrera would have argued that he quick pitched him. He takes so long to get ready. You picked up on it in St. Louis, Dan, and you were right. You were right on the money. I mean, this is too long in between pitches for Herrera to get ready.
And you may remember Jordan Hicks hit 105 that day.
Yeah.
He was asked about it afterwards. He said part of the motivation was Herrera taking all that time. He said it fired me up. That's what he said. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and one. You know, part of the equation of adding Greg Holland is certainly the case of Mike Myers with options. Potentially goes down after tonight. You never know.
Yeah.
2-2.
Well, particularly after throwing so many pitches tonight.
Yep. This will be pitch number 40. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That has been one of the issues with Myers. He's not overly efficient. A lot of deep counts. Doesn't get the quick outs. You know, he's got 5 outs recorded so far, and it's 40 pitches. It's 4 straight full counts. And a ground ball hit to the right side. Myers to the bag, led perfectly by Jed Jerko. And 2 scoreless innings by Mike Myers. 4-2 as we head to the 8th.
Good job.
Moments happen. Budweiser will be there. By Ford, going further so you can. And by St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, guardians of childhood. He has struck out 13. He's allowed just 2 hits. Both have been solo home runs. Matt Carpenter in the 3rd. Yadier Molina in the 7th. There's Jairo Munoz. Another curveball. Munoz 0 for 2. He is lined out and struck out. 13 strikeouts on the night. Greg Garcia has moved to the on deck circle. Another curveball.
I think Pivetta has surprised himself tonight with his curveball. I've never seen him pitch before, but he was a guy who was supposed to throw inside fastballs. We talked about it in the scouting report. Keys to the game.
And Munoz sends a fly ball on an 0-2 pitch into right center. That's Herrera with the catch.
We understand that Pivetta has thrown 32% curveballs. That is a ton of curveballs.
Wow. 102 pitches on the night. Career high in innings pitched. It's right now pitching here into the 8th. He's gone 7 innings 6 times in his career. Yesterday, Aaron Nola went just 4 1/3, so a lot of bullpen work for the Phillies, and Pivetta giving the Phils exactly what they needed, a long start, deep start. Here's Greg Garcia. Nola is an outstanding young pitcher at the top of that rotation.
Yes, he is. That's a surprise. I mean, the Phillies came into this game with their pitching staff a 3.41 earned run average in this ballpark. That's amazing.
We'll see Jake Herrera, former Cub, and Oriole will throw Wednesday afternoon against Michael Wacha. Should be a fun matchup. It's another curveball. Might not be able to comb his hair tomorrow, but he's pitching well tonight.
Comb his hair and other things.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Curveball slapped out to left. That ball will drop, and it's a base hit for Greg Garcia. And the tying run through all this will come to the plate in the form of Matt Carpenter,
who has already homered his second at bat tonight.
Well, if you're Gabe Kapler, do you go with the lefty? And Adam Morgan, who's been throwing, he's up, he's hot, he's ready.
My answer to that is yes. In my opinion, you do. But once again, it shows you the worth of my opinion.
Bupkis.
Bupkis. Nada.
You think about it, you know, you're Gabe Kapler, your starter's giving you everything you wanted. You say, hey, this is your game. You've given us this much. It's yours to at least walk away with a no decision.
I mean, under almost every circumstance, a manager like Gabe Kapler would make a move right here to the left-hander.
No question. Carpenter with a fly ball into right, at the wall, off the top of the wall. And Garcia to third base, just a few feet away from tying this game up. It hit off the wall, then it looked like it hit off of Nick Williams.
I agree. I think it hit him in the head. And now the trainer is out to talk to Nick Williams. A hanging curveball, one of the few he's thrown tonight. Carpenter thought he got it all. You could tell by the eyes. And it hit off the screen and the head, unfortunately, of Nick Williams. Maybe hit him in the nose. It did. He was looking up, trying to make the play. And I think, you know, a guy who's had his share of boos here in Philadelphia may have a few more here, or some tomorrow in the morning paper. And we have to say, I mean, it's a tough decision to make, but on the other hand, it was a hanger. That was not a biting curveball, and that's the point. When it ceases to be biting, you make the move, but he didn't.
And the pitch count at 108 now, and the batter will be Tommy Pham as Pivetta just stands on the mound, and it looks like that'll be all for Nick Williams. That's Aaron Altair. There he is, coming into play right field for Williams. So off the wall, off the bridge of the nose, and out of the game. Tommy Pham, you may recall last year the Cardinals took 2 of 3. They've won their last 3 series here in Philly, and it was Tommy Pham who had a huge series. This is back in June. Couple of home runs. One can't happen in extra innings. That'll be it for Pivetta. Udibre Ramos.
And to me, clearly, it's one hitter too late.
1 out, 2 on in a 4-2 game. Produced or retransmitted in any form, and the countdown descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Ramos to face Tommy Pham. A base hit could tie the game up. 4-2 our score with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. The first pitch to Tommy Pham is a strike. This is our Chevy called to the pen.
Who would have thought in that first inning would have a game like this in the 8th inning?
Who would have felt like this in the 5th, the 6th, the 7th,
Yeah.
the way that
Yeah.
Pivetta was throwing.
Mm-hmm.
Give Mike Myers credit, 2 scoreless innings.
You bet.
Michael has settled back in after a rough start. And here we have a 4-2 game. The 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aaron Altero takes over in right field for Nick Williams.
And that's a straight move. Aaron Altero will bat 6th in the lineup.
Playing Pham to pull on the infield, shade him the opposite way in the outfield. And Tommy's seen a steady diet of breaking balls, but so did most Cardinals today with Pivetta.
Yeah.
Hyundai pitch arsenal. He loves that curveball. Tommy's seen 2 of them so far. Now he's finally set. And the 1-1. Got a fastball and hits it out of play.
Got a fastball right on the cookie sheet. Sometimes on an 0-2 pitch, you're so surprised as a hitter. You think a guy's going to pitch around you or try to get you to go for a bad ball. You get a ball right down the middle. You don't know what to do with it. You're late in pulling the trigger.
Trying to take Miles Michaelis off the hook. Two balls and 2 strikes on Tommy Pham.
Ooh, that was it right there.
Yep.
That was it. Curveball right in the middle of the plate, about navel high.
Ramos has had a sensational year. Third in ERA, .69. And he strikes out Tommy Pham.
Another breaking ball up in the strike zone.
Jose Martinez, he's 0 for 3. Hit a comebacker back to Pivetta, then was robbed by J.P. Crawford back in the 6th. Two outs and 2 on. Ramos has come in this year, 15 inherited runners, only 4 have scored. Martinez is 2 for 2 with a double against this right-hander. Falls behind in the hole now, 0-2.
Fastball, breaking ball, the first 2 pitches to Jose.
And he went. Strikeout of Martinez. Ramos comes in and strikes out Pham. And then Jose Martinez, the threat is through. Can purchase select seats for just $7 to see the Cardinals and Indians June 25th through the 27th. For details, visit cardinals.com/Papa John's. 2 scoreless innings by Mike Myers, and Myers was in relief of Miles Michaelis, who went 5, and now it's Sam Tuivailala on the Chevy call to the pen. Left Santana, Franco, and Altair.
That's a nice graphic up now with that day's rest. Sam did not pitch in last night's game. Worked on Saturday.
Cardinals still will have Ozuna, Molina, and Jerko to get through. Looking ahead at the top of the ninth, and Tuivailala trying to keep this a 2-run Phillies lead.
Hey, this Philly bullpen, Dan, has been exceptional this year. Spread it around, bunch of guys similar to the Cardinals, but more effective.
Victor Arano is getting loose. He has 0 save opportunities in his career.
Of course, he might be up just throwing. You don't know. But if you're Kapler, why would you hesitate in sending Ramos back out there?
Absolutely.
You know.
There's a 1-1 pitch. Slapped foul and out of play. Well, the Cardinals are just a few feet away from tying the game up on a potential home run by Carpenter. And
right.
Then, with runners at second and third, could not get that big hit. Hector Neris was the closer early in the season. Lost the job, and today he got sent to the minor leagues.
AAA affiliate of the Phillies. Close, like the Cardinals. Cardinals AAA is in Memphis. In Phillies, it's Lehigh Valley.
2-2.
Which is up near Allentown, right around Allentown. The Iron Pigs.
Never want to miss with those Iron Pigs.
It's a fun name, isn't it?
It is.
My favorite minor league sobriquet. Wait a minute, I'm having a senior moment. The Lugnuts. Who is that? Lansing. The Lansing Lugnuts. I like that. My partner does not agree.
Well, I'm
with
just trying to figure out why.
Looking at me like I'm insane.
No, I just
like the alliteration.
It just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Lansing Lugnuts.
And the leadoff walk. And Franco will be the batter. He is 0 for 3. All 3 times is grounded out to third.
I was rooming with Joe Torre in 1973, and he said, I said, where is this particular player from? He said, he's from the greatest operation ever performed in this country. And I said, what? He said, Lansing, Michigan. I thought that was pretty clever.
Pretty good.
Lansing, Michigan.
But you like the Lugnuts.
I like the Lansing Lugnuts. That's my favorite minor league team.
Of all time.
More than the Iron Pigs.
Really?
Yes.
It's an upset tonight. That's it out of play. I mean, it's hard not to like maybe the Durham Bulls.
Yeah,
you
true.
know.
That's been used so much. I mean,
well, so what? If I want to use it, I'll use it.
I know that. I don't think that it's cause for you raising your voice. How
about the New Orleans baby cakes? Again to third. How about 2 out at second? The turn and a double play. Peanuts Night returns to Busch Stadium. That's Wednesday, June 27th. Purchase of a special theme ticket. You will receive an exclusive Cardinals theme Snoopy bobblehead. Cardinals.com/theme.
I grew up in Memphis, and I used to sell peanuts and popcorn at the ballpark. Made a half a cent a bag, by the way.
You probably still have it in your pocket.
Boy, just hammered by my partner. Throwing nickels away like manhole covers, my partner's implying. But the name of the New Orleans team in the Southern Association, along with the Memphis Chicks at the time, the New Orleans Pelicans, had a ring to it. Very nice.
Well, now that's the NBA team now, too.
Oh, right. That's right.
The Pelicans.
That's exactly right.
I figured you were going to go with the Memphis Chicks. I thought that would be your team.
No.
All right, then.
No. I mean, it just, you know, the alliteration, things that rolled off the tongue. I kind of like that. Sam, a good job on that double play. Nicely turned by Carpenter and Jerko. I get paid for this. Is that right?
Like I said, you've kept every cent. You should know. Hey, I've gone out to eat with you, man. I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're past that point.
The 3-1 pitch. 3-2. This will be the 12th full count that the Phillies have had tonight against Cardinals pitching.
That is a bunch in a team that's only hit in 8 innings.
And a strikeout. So good work again by the bullpen tonight. 2 scoreless innings by Myers. Scoreless inning by Tui Valala. Ozuna, Molina, Jerko coming up. Arano has struck out at least 1 batter in 17 of his 20 appearances this year.
Little
Chevy
chancy.
called to the pen.
Little chancy from Gabe Kapler's standpoint. I mean, Arano has never had a save in the major leagues.
I'm with you. I mean, Ramos gets the final 2 outs. Maybe you could extend him.
Yeah. Go 5 hitters. I mean, come on.
The last 13 1/3 innings. So the last 3 games by the bullpen of the Phillies, they've given up 10 runs coming into this game tonight. So Pivetta gives them 7 1/3. Ramos gets the final 2. And some people believe, and I'm one of them, getting the final 3 outs is different than any other.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
I know that some believe you can just bring a guy in and what's the difference? Well, there's a big difference. 5th inning to 9th inning, in my mind, big difference.
Yeah. Well, they win a ball game last night in Milwaukee 10-9. So you know they used a bunch of guys from the bullpen and Arano behind. I think if you're Osuna, you take a couple of pitches here. Why not? You're trailing by 2, not 1.
Ramos only threw 9 pitches. The 3-0 pitch. 3-1. The Cardinals with 15 strikeouts in their lineup tonight. Pivetta with 13 of those. Ozuna is 0 for 3. He'd love to change that here. 3-2.
See, that was a questionable pitch right there. When you're trailing by 2 runs, it used to be automatic. You're going to take 3-0, 3-1, or 2-0, or 1-0. Make him throw you a strike. Give him a chance to get wild. Things of that nature. It's not in the game today, and that's a shame.
The 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Our Budweiser plays of the game, and it's the curveball from Nick Pivetta with 13 strikeouts, 9 of the 13 coming with that nasty breaking pitch. Such great late movement. Filthy. Yadier Molina has walked and homered tonight.
And featuring that Arano, featuring that split finger fastball. Some pitchers, they move it back toward the hand when they throw it.
Molina with a base hit out to left, and the Cardinals have the tying run now coming to the plate.
I was just going to say, that pitch is thrown a lot of times like Molina hit it. One of those flares to the outfield. This one in on the hands. Yadi gets the bat head out. Gives the Cardinals a better chance here. Now the tying run at the plate.
It's been a tough night for Jed Jerko, but boy, he could atone for that with one swing. He struck out 3 times. He is 0 for 3. Will he even see a fastball?
One of the better fastball hitters in the game.
That pitch taken low. First meeting between these two. Jerko with a base hit. That will go all the way to the wall. Molina to third base, and again the Cardinals will have the tying runs in scoring position. Runners at second and third. A double for Jed Jerko.
Here the Boo Birds here in Philadelphia coming out, and those are directed at Gabe Kapler, not at Arano, but this is a real hanger here. And Jerko, with double number 6 on the year, sets it up for the Cardinals. We'll see. One base hit to the outfield. Could tie ball game.
That'll be Jack Flaherty who will pinch run for Jed Jerko. And some fans might be wondering, well, why not pinch run for Molina? Well, you're down by 2. He's not the tying run.
Very good point.
He's got to get brought in anyway, and you want him for extra innings. You know, Jerko's been nursing a sore leg for the better part of the year, so Jack Flaherty becomes the pinch runner.
You know, it's not necessary for Yadier Molina to come in on a ground ball. The reason is that Jack Flaherty is on second base. This is a very sophisticated situation for the Cardinals and their runners. You have an inexperienced guy, a pitcher that is, as the pinch runner on at second base, and he's got to know what Molina's going to do.
Here's Bader. And he will see a steady diet of those breaking pitches. Struck out twice, grounded out to short. The tying runs in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one backs up for a strike. Bader didn't like it.
That was a good call by you, Dan. It did back up. It was a splitter that backed up. It was supposed to be away. Ended up inside on the corner. Bader disagrees.
No plate umpire. You can see in that replay, hearing it from the Cardinals dugout. Puts Bader in the hole. 1-2. 2-2. The Cardinals' season high for strikeouts was 15. Tonight, they've struck out 16 times. The 2-2. The check swing did not go. This is interesting here. Bader could turn on that fastball.
On that splitter, also, another thing, Yadier Molina, if the ball gets by the pitcher, he doesn't necessarily have to come in from third. It's a 2-run deficit for the Cardinals.
17 strikeouts for the Cardinals tonight.
Goodness. You said a steady diet, and that's what Bader got.
There's Jairo Munoz in the final hope for the Cardinals. Colton Wong at the on-deck circle. You know, something to think about. It wouldn't be ideal if you fall behind a Munoz who can turn on a pitch, hit it out of the ballpark. You have Morgan, who's hot, the lefty, to face Wong potentially.
Sure.
Cardinals' only other right-handed bat is Pena. One ball, 1 strike. Cardinals had second and third in the 8th. 1 out, could not score. Second and third here in the 9th with 1 out. Now 2 and a 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Munoz strikes out, but the ball gets away. A run will score, and the Cardinals are still alive.
We talked about something like that happening. Flaherty goes to third base. Munoz moves to first, of course. A strikeout and a wild pitch. That's a 3rd strikeout of the inning for Herrera. I think Kapler's going to make the move.
He certainly is. So Adam Morgan will come into pitch. The Cardinals certainly could counter if they wanted with Pena. Right now it's Wong. Don't go anywhere. Adam Morgan. This would be our Chevy call to the pen. Lefties hitting .294 against him.
Certainly something to consider. Another thing to consider with the third baseman in is if you're Flaherty at third base, you try to be aware of leaning toward home in case there's another wild pitch.
Wong has had a flair for the dramatic late inning hits. Does he have another one? Runners at the corners. 4-3 our score. And the first pitch taken high. Carpenter on deck. How about Arano? His first career save opportunity. He strikes out 3 and doesn't get a save. Crazy game.
18 strikeouts now for the Cardinals tonight.
2-0. The Cardinals, Carpenter and Wong at the dugout, had a tablet out watching video of Adam Morgan. And the 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Colton Wong. And again, the Cardinals down to their final strike.
Third baseman's backing up. I think he plays in with Wong up there. We've seen Wong so many times on those swinging bunts down the third baseline. I think you have to protect against that if you're playing third.
The 2-2. Wong up the middle. This game is tied. Wong ties it with a base hit into center. And Jack Flaherty, of all people, scores the tying run. It's tied at 4.
The first time this game has been tied since the first batter in Matt Carpenter in the top of the first inning.
Unbelievable.
How about that? It's like a breaking ball to Colton, singling up the middle. How about that? Dan told you not to go away. I hope you didn't.
A game in which the Cardinals have struck out 18 times, which included what should have been the final out. And now we're tied at 4.
Yeah. The wild pitch on the strikeout that moved Flaherty to third base, and he scores a tying run on the Wong single. Unbelievable.
Here's Carpenter. The first pitch, a ball. A solo home run for Carpenter nearly tied the ball game with a 2-run homer in the 8th. It wound up being a double off the wall in right. And the 1-0. I mentioned it at the time, and I said, you know, you just don't know if this might be a big play. The second inning, 1 out, runner at third, and the Phillies did not capitalize against Miles Michaelis.
Right.
And here we are, 4-4.
That was a leadoff double by J.P. Crawford. He was stranded at second base in that second, after the Phillies had scored 4 in the first.
And it's 3-0 now on Carpenter.
What a loopy game this is.
I mean, you strike out 18 times, Tim. You're not supposed to win the game.
No, you're not.
Even in Little League. He's 0 for 6. Couple of strikeouts against Adam Morgan. The Phillies will have Knapp, Kingery, and Crawford looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. Jake Thompson, right-hander, just added before the game today, warming up. It's a foul ball.
That's a good foul ball because now with the count 3-2, Munoz at second base will have a running start. If an infielder misplays a deep ground ball, as an example, if you're Jose Oquendo right now, I think you say take a chance. Send Munoz. He's fast enough to send him on a questionable ground ball to the infielder. 3-2 count changes everything.
A 3-2 pitch. Little check swing back to Morgan. And he flips to first for the out. Cardinals strand a pair, but they have tied it up thanks to Colton Wong. They were down to their final strike. Michael is off the hook, and we've got a new game. The top of the ninth, here's how it started. Arano trying to pick up his first ever save. Got a strikeout of Ozuna, then a little bloop hit by Yadier Molina. There was life. Jed Jerko with this double. So, second and third, one out. The strikeout after an out was made to make it 2 outs, and then that strikeout on a wild pitch that got through the legs of the catcher, Colton Wong, after Adam Morgan was brought in. Lefty-lefty matchup. And that's right, that's your pinch runner, Jack Flaherty, the pitcher, who threw yesterday, who scores the game-tying run.
The storyline in this game is great curveballs by the starter,
Nick Pivetta.
and a hanging breaking ball by Morgan.
Good point.
To Colton Wong.
It's so Bud Norris, the Cardinals closer, is in a tie game on the road. And here is Knapp. Chevy called to the pen. You know, a lot of times you don't see this, but we're not privy to who's available in the Cardinals bullpen.
That is true. But you know, the more you think about it, the more it makes sense to bring Bud Norris in, right? Even though it is a tie ball game. If he doesn't throw a lot of pitches and goes into the 10th inning, perhaps you send him back out there, or you could look at it, he's the best you got to keep it from going past the ninth. So any way you want to look at it.
Here's the 0-2 up the middle, past Norris, but in the glove of the shortstop, Jairo Munoz. Almost took Norris's hat off.
I think Bud is looking at Some of the past things in his life with a line drive like that. I mean,
Wow.
no, I would be. This is close.
Wow. But there's your scouting coming into play.
Yeah, absolutely. That ball was hit like a bullet. Good play by Munoz. Bud taking a little extra time on that right knee, and that's when taking a knee is prudent.
Yeah, you do that in football and you do that here. I'm done.
Right.
Here's Kingery. He was brought in for defensive purposes, and on the first pitch, he hits one high in the air to left center field. Under it, Tommy Pham. That's 4 pitches and 2 outs.
I was thinking the same thing. I know where you're going, partner.
Extend him if you need to.
Absolutely. Whether it's tied or the Cardinals are ahead. If they're ahead, obviously you do it. If not, do it anyway. If his pitch count is decent. He had 4 pitches, 3 pitches so far?
4 pitches.
4 pitches in this inning.
Bud Norris is in the 6th position in the Cardinals lineup. That was the position that Flaherty was in after he pinch ran for Jed Jerko. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the Cardinals with Pham, Martinez, Ozuna coming up if we get to the 10th. 1 ball, 1 strike on J.P. Crawford. Crawford tonight 1 for 3 with a double, pair of strikeouts. Really late on that swing, and you know what, Tim, we've seen that a bunch this year with Norris, and what it tells me is he's hiding the ball extremely well.
Left-handers and right-handers.
Yeah.
He's been very, very effective against left-handed batters. That's one of the reasons for his success as the Cardinal closer.
That pitch taken high. And the 2-2 pitch by Norris. Full count. Three and 2 on Crawford. He has a couple of home runs this year. He's driven in 8. The full count delivery by Bud Norris, and it's a 2-out walk. Miles Michael is 5 innings. Mike Myers 2 scoreless innings. Tui Valala scoreless 8th. And now Bud Norris here in the 9th, and it brings in Hernandez. He's been on base twice with a single to right and also a walk back in the 7th.
Checking Crawford's minor league numbers. He had 14 stolen bases about 5 years ago. He has 2 this year. He has not been caught. It's a good time to send him because you've got a left-handed batter up there. And that's what Bud was thinking. But with the left-handed batter at the plate, it's a lot tougher for Yadier Molina to throw. And he needs help from the bench. A lot of times you just can't see that runner with any kind of jump at first base. We'll see.
Crawford with the 2 steals this year, a total of 3 in his career. And ball 1. Bud is one of those guys that when runners get on, he really slows it down.
Quick feet too. Good move to first. He is a move to first like a starting pitcher. The reason? He was for so long. Most guys who come in from the bullpen as the closers, they don't have real good moves to first base.
And a mound visit.
And that's it for extra innings, right?
Still in the 9th, though.
Oh, we're still in the 9th.
Get to add one more in the 10th.
Right.
But I like your thinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes Molina, when he does this, will ask what do you want to throw, what are you comfortable with, and then throughout the at-bat, you may not even see signs that go down.
Yes, right.
I mean, they've gone
There's
through
no reason to do that unless there's a guy on second base, though.
I would agree with that too. I've seen him do it though before, but runner at second would be when you most certainly would do it.
Might be a throw over here. Nope.
And there's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Been some fun ball games here last few years between these two teams at this ballpark. Late inning dramatics.
4 good games. Cardinals against the Phillies. They split their only series before tonight in St. Louis.
And it's on the ground to second baseman Colton Wong. He makes the play, and we do have extra innings here at Citizens Bank Park. A scoreless inning by Bud Norris. And Jake Thompson, he came over to the Phillies in the Cole Hamels deal, which also included Jake Diekman going to the Rangers, Alfaro Williams, Eichhoff, Asher, Harrison, and Thompson, all part of that deal, coming back the other way for the Phillies. So Thompson is now the 5th pitcher used. And we move to inning number 10. Valentin is the new third baseman. And there's a look at Valentin. Here's Tommy Pham. And a 1-0 pitch. The Cardinals have struck out 18 times in this game. 3 of those by Tommy Pham. He's also flied to right. The bullpen has done a remarkable job for the Cardinals. The Phillies in this game with 6 hits, 4 of them coming in the first inning. All 6 hits against Miles Michaelis. 2 scoreless innings by Myers. Tuivailala a scoreless 8th. Norris a scoreless 9th.
Real credit to the guys out of the pen.
You bet. The 2-1 pitch to Pham. Pham hits it a ton out to deep left, and the Cardinals have delayed. A 10th inning bomb off the bat of Tommy Pham.
That's 12 games in a row that he has hit safely now. None bigger than this solo home run. Hanging breaking ball.
Oh.
A game again defined by breaking balls.
Here's Jose Martinez. The Cardinals their first lead of the night.
Did he ever know it? And so did we. And so did they. And so have you.
11th home run for Tommy Pham. This game was supposed to be over. It was a strikeout for the final out.
Yeah.
But a wild pitch. Matt Bowman getting loose in the Cardinals' pen. Since 1913, the Cardinals have never won a game when they've struck out 18 or more times, and that may change tonight. And the 1-2 is put in play by Martinez to short. Matt Bowman, by the way, worked on Friday and Saturday against the Cubs, coming back off the DL with a blister issue. Did not pitch yesterday, but Norris has the scoreless 9th, and it could be Bowman for the 10th. Here's Marcell Ozuna. And there's strike 1. Ozuna, the only Cardinal that has seen this right-hander before. He's 2 for 5 with a double and an RBI.
I haven't been with you for a while, Danny, and coming over in the car today, I said, what's the major issue facing the Cardinals now? And you said the bullpen.
That's, I think, yes. You know, they've gotten Ozuna going. There's a little fly ball out to right. Carpenter is kind of back to where he was, so you're starting to see signs of life with the offense. Ozuna, the player of the week in the National League, but I think they've They've tried to look at different combinations to get them, to bridge the gap, to get to Hicks, to get to Norris, and those two have been very good. But, as you know, long year, you can't use them every night, so others have got to step up.
They've already done that tonight.
And last night, too.
Yeah, and last night, too. It's after a 3.5-hour plane trip.
And Molina pops it foul. Molina has walked a solo home run in the 7th and got the rally started for the Cardinals in the 9th with a base hit to shallow left field. Is it playable? No. Colton Wong had the huge hit down to the final strike, a base hit into center that tied the game, and Tommy Pham has put the Cardinals on top. And it won't be easy looking ahead to home half of the 10th with Hoskins, Herrera, and Santana coming up. And the 1-2, and Molina sends it out to left. That ball is down, and he's thinking 2 extra bases. It'll be a double for Yadier Molina, on base for the 4th time.
Then a hanger from Jake Thompson, almost identical pitch that he threw to Tommy Pham. Both hit very hard, both for extra bases.
The final position player for the Cardinals is Francisco Pena, so he will pinch hit for Norris. His night is through for sure now, and it'll be Bowman in the bottom half. 5-4 our score. If you're wondering, Matt Bowman with 2 career saves, both happened last year. It's a big run out there at second base if you could bring him in.
Boy, is it ever.
Pena ready for that hanger again. Now, I love that. Might be my best play of the night right there. That young man brought a glove and he saved everybody.
Couldn't disagree with you. Right in the webbing, snow cone job.
Saved that Cardinal fan.
He did.
It was 93 miles an hour off the bat.
Very, very proud.
0-2 on Pena. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miles Michaelis off the hook. The Cardinals maybe with one of their best wins of the year, if they can finish it off. He's struggling right now with that curveball.
Yes, he is. Breaking ball to Tommy Pham, home run. Breaking ball to Yadier Molina, double down the line.
And a 2-2. Strikeout of Pena. So that'll be 19 strikeouts. But the Cardinals 3 outs away from a potential win thanks to Tommy Pham. This home run is 11th of the year. They love it. Cardinals on top. lead as we move to the bottom of the 10th. Cecil and Gomber, the two lefties. Jordan Hicks not in this game tonight, so you'd have to assume he's off limits, and I'm sure they'd love to stay away from John Brebbia as well. He's been used an awful lot, especially over the weekend. Brebbia picked up his first win, his major league career, yesterday. This is our Chevy call to the pen. It's Matt Bowman at a big spot. The Phillies in the first inning had 4 runs, 4 hits. Since then, no runs, 2 hits. Cardinals' pen has been magnificent with Myers, Tuivailala, Norris, and now Bowman.
If you're the Cardinals, you're thinking this is a game that we should not win but can.
Two, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the Phillies. Hoskins, Herrera, and Santana.
Good breaking ball there. That slider disappeared away.
Hoskins walked and scored back in the first. Ooh, catches the corner, goes the Cardinals' way. And again, Tim, I know it's, so many big at bats in the game over a course of a long night, but second inning, Hoskins up with 1 out, runner at third, could not bring him in. And now that run could be the difference in this game. And remember the foul ball that barely, and I mean barely, missed the foul pole, which would have been a 2-run homer. And an umpire review call was correct. If he hits that homer, the game's probably out of reach. If he gets the run in the second, that's 5-0 then against Michaelis and the Cardinals. It's a totally different game.
But the play people in St. Louis will be talking about by the water cooler tomorrow is the wild pitch on the strikeout.
And a little flare out to left and a base hit. So the tying run is aboard, and the winning run will come to the plate. Well, you think about the sinker with Matt Bowman, you think ground ball. The potential of a double play. Here's Herrera at a 3-run homer back in the first, a single to right in the 5th. First pitch hit out of play.
That was one of those pitches that Herrera was destined to swing at. He went up there looking for a fastball, got it. He didn't care where it was going to be. Fouled the bat. That ball was way outside and high, not even close. No doubles defense for the outfielders, appropriate for Mike Matheny.
Bowman has induced 1 ground ball double play. Herrera is grounded into 4.
He's pulled a couple of balls tonight, 1 to first, 1 to second.
There's a ground ball. Bowman off the mound to first and save at first.
That'll be a review. That one little look towards second base, and Bowman had no help. Didn't understand it. He said he's safe over there. That's what he asked the umpire, the third base umpire, and the third base umpire, of course, said yes.
the Cardinals will challenge. I mean, at this point in the game.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the game on the line here.
Looked to me like he was out, but we're fooled so many times. No sense speculating. That one little look to second, though.
I think he's out.
He's out. He's way out. Not even close. I guess, you know, the guys in New York could say, was the ball rattling around in the glove long enough, and did Martinez take too long to corral it? Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
In the process, the potential tying run gets to second base, however.
So here's Carlos Santana.
Really a good play by Bowman. I mean, a very good play. Like a cat.
Yes. Valentin is at the on-deck circle. And then Altair. It's a dangerous man right here. We've got a shift on in the infield, so Munoz is near the bag at second. And this might be for a couple of reasons. Mike Maddox may talk about a few reasons.
Do you want to walk him?
Yep. I mean, that's dangerous. You're playing with fire to put the winning run at first, but that is an option. I'm sure part of this, too, the signs at second base. How do you want to approach him?
Nah, I don't think so. Signs, I mean, that's the least problem you have. Big thing is getting Bowman to throw a sinker and to get a ground ball. I don't know.
Santana, of his 10 home runs, 8 have been against right-handed pitching. And this is what we thought. They're not going to pitch to Santana. They're going to walk him, I think.
Yeah, I think this is a good move. I think Mike Maddox asked Scotty Bowman and Molina what he wanted to do, and they both concurred that put him on. Used to be that you walk the winning run on base, and everybody go bananas, ballistic.
Now it's about matchups.
That, and now it's about matchups.
Yep.
Of course. I think this is the right move, one way or the other.
Here's Valentin now at the plate, and ball one. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Valentin has not hit into a double play this year. 2-1. Aaron Altair is at the on-deck circle. The 2-1. See him blowing on the fingertips, dealing with blisters.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Dan. You know, you mentioned the blister problem. You got to wonder whether that, because it's anything but cold out on the mound. He's been blowing on his fingers.
You sweat, the wet, that's not good. Here's a 2-2. Hit in the air down the right field line, racing over Bader and out of play. a souvenir for a Cardinal fan. Tommy Pham with a solo home run to give the Cardinals a 5-4 lead as we play in the bottom of the 10th. A game in which they never led until that swing. Now time called by Molina, as indicated by the home plate umpire Eric Cooper. The 2-2.
I don't think I've ever seen Matt Bowman having trouble keeping the ball down like he is tonight. Normally a low ball pitcher that has a tough time throwing the ball up.
The 14th full count for the Phillies tonight.
That's just amazing. That with the 19 strikeouts by the Cardinals. Unbelievable.
The 3-2 pitch. Got him. A strikeout for Bowman. And the Cardinals now 1 out away.
It's almost like Matt said, I've got to one time, a little extra, and he got it. He reached back and got it from somewhere.
Here's Aaron Altair with runners at first and second. 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. And ball 1. He's hitting 176 on the year. One ball, one strike.
A little changeup, 82-mile-an-hour changeup. The first he's thrown, he throws it to a right-handed batter. Boy, this game's had so many twists and turns. It's like an alpine stretch of road.
The 1-1. Ooh, almost hit him. The switch hitting Knapp. The catcher is on deck. The 2-1 hit out to left. Ozuna, a diving attempt, can't come up with it. Gets away. 1 run will score. Here comes another. And in dramatic fashion, a heartbreaker for St. Louis. The Phillies walk it off.
Had nobody been in front of him, Altair would have had an inside the park home run. As it was, it wasn't needed. Phillies played 2. Tough game for the Cardinals, valiantly coming back, but the Phillies win it on the hit by Altair. Play by Ozuna. Looked like at best he would have short hopped the ball, but couldn't get to it. Eludes him, and the Phillies win easily.
Altair, the game-winning hit. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is coming up next in a wild game here in Philly. They take game one, 6-5 in 10 innings.